So I like watching Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics Slab Pub, which comes out every Saturday. They have a different guest on. I was a guest, luckily, one week also. And Chris, the ComicVet, is his co-host, I guess you'd say. And he mentioned that he's passing out a challenge for everybody to display their top 10 Spider-Man books. So let's see how well I do. Stick around. Welcome back, family. Thanks for joining yet again. So yeah, like I said, Chris the ComicVet, he's passing it on, the challenge that he accepted. He's passing on to other people, and I've accepted. I'm going to pull out my ranked by me, my top 10 Spider-Man comics. Now, I had to hit certain criteria in my mind. First off, it had to be a Spider-Man comic book, which is why, Ultimate Fallout is Miles Morales, and to me, I'm older, so Spider-Man is Peter Parker. No disrespect to Miles Morales, I love the character, but when I hear Spider-Man, I think Peter Parker. I know the newer generation, as they were talking about on Slab Hub, thinks either Spider-Gwen or Miles Morales. It's just, indicative of my age more than anything else. But, if I didn't like Miles Morales, I wouldn't have that book there. Or there. Also, the Marvel Secret Wars, even though it has Spider-Man on the cover, and I have other books that have Spider-Man on the cover, they are not Spider-Man's title. Spider-Woman is not a Spider-Man comic book, okay? So, just want to give you a little bit of the criteria about how I decided what's a Spider-Man comic. How I rank them is the same way I rank my books at the end of the year. If my house is on fire and I have time to run in and grab one book and run back out, that's my number one. So it is not just monetary value, but also sentimental value, what it means to me personally. There are some books that even if they are worth 20 cents, they can't be replaced because they were with you at a certain place and time. Case in point, coming in at number 10 is Amazing Spider-Man number 328 in a 9.2. It's a McFarlane art, 9.2. Nothing spectacular about this, except I bought this book off the new, when it was new, and I had this in a drawer for a very long time. Actually, it was in a safe that I forgot the combination of, and when I cracked the safe open, it was this and a really raggedy Star Wars number 1 reprint, white boxing, reprint up here, maybe like a 4.0, wasn't even worth grading. But I saw this, and I'm like, this really isn't that bad. I got a 9.2 white page. I had to slab it because it's part of my personal collection when I was younger. So that one has sentimental value, even though it's not top up there in in value-wise, it has sentimental value. Coming in number 9 is Spider-Man number 37 in a 5.0 off-white to white pages. First appearance of Norman Osborn. Here we go. First appearance of Norman Osborn and the Robot Master. Well, we know which one actually had longevity, right? This book was actually one of the books that I'm going to say maybe a year and a half ago, on Reggie Collects. He mentioned it as a Blue Ocean book, that it was not really being followed much at that particular time, and it shot up in value after, of course, the Green Goblin made his appearance in No Way Home. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but if you haven't heard by now. Coming in number 8, this is a book it presents so much nicer than its grade, and I'm just happy to have this one in my collection. Spider-Man number 100 in a 7.0 white page, and I'm going to get you in real close to this one so you can see this one does look really, really nice here. Same thing in the back. Clean, sharp, and it's an iconic cover. You've seen posters and t-shirts of this for around forever. Stanley Story, Gil Kane, Romita on the cover art. Yes, it was Romita and Giacola, but it's the art style of John Romita that everybody remembers back at that time. So that one presented itself to me one time, and I had to grab it. So 10, 9, 8, 7. So I feel like I'm counting backwards like on Electric Company. So number 7 is My Amazing Spider-Man copy of number 210 and a 9.2. this is not to be confused with this copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 210 in a 9.2 white page. There are two copies. One's mine, and one will be given to the 750 subscriber winner when I get to 750 subscribers. That's kind of cool. That I will actually have a book exactly the same as one of my subscribers. But yeah, I bought the book in a 9.2, and then a few months later I was able to purchase one on the road. I thought it really looked good, so I cleaned it, pressed it, sent it in for grading. It came back a 9.2 white page. I'm like, I have two identical books. I guess one's going to be a giveaway. But then, of course, Madam Web exploded, but I'm not changing my mind. I had already promised it as a giveaway. It will be such. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 6. This is only a 4.0. It is a CBCS, but it is the first appearance of Mary Jane Watson. First full appearance. Amazing Spider-Man number 43. I think it's a second appearance of the Rhino. Origin of the Rhino cover and appearance. I think his first appearance was 41 or 42. But I mean, prior to this, there was like one, as far as Mary Jane Watson, there was one issue where you could see her leg, and one issue you could see this, but her first full appearance was right here in Amazing Spider-Man number 43. Well, there's 5. Let's get to the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. This is a book that I had sent in to CBCS. They did not clean and press it as I had paid for, and then they issued me a refund. Then they mislabeled it. So it came back a 7.0, and it wasn't labeled what it was. So I didn't like that. So I sent it to CGC. I paid for grade cleaning and pressing and labeling, and I got one full grade bump up to an 8.0 white page of Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 16. Now, if you, I don't know if you've noticed at the moment, but look at the price. This is not a regular one. This is a Canadian price variant. First appearance of Monica Rambeau in a Canadian price variant. That's what really I wanted. CBCS had written down newsstand variant. No, it's not the newsstand. It is a Canadian price variant, $1.25 as opposed to the regular dollar. And I know that there are other books here that are worth more, but I would have a real hard time replacing that based on its rarity. Number 4. Now, yes, I did not put my Marvel Secret Wars number 8 in this, but I did put my Spider-Man 252. There we go, 9.4 white page. And honestly, I remember when this was on the newsstands. Well, you know, in the stores. Unfortunately, I don't have any copies of when I was a kid anymore. But I remember when that came out, I was going down the line and looking at the comics, and I just went right past it, and I went, wait, what? Why is Spider-Man wearing a black costume? It confused me. But, and I didn't like it at first. I didn't like it. I was traditionalist even as a little kid. So, I'm glad that they did keep it going, because this did not just lead into a black costume, but of course into one of the major characters in the MCU now. Coming in at number 3, speaking of that major character, this is a book I bought in a Raw. I won a little auction that actually I didn't expect to win. Amazing Spider-Man number 316. I sent it off for grading, got 9.6 off white to white page. First full cover appearance of Venom. There is one other book, I think it's the one with Hydro Man on it, that has a little head. It's like, you know, I guess who's back, you know, it's not a cover, but this is the first real cover appearance of Venom in a really, really great McFarlane art. And I was extremely happy when I got that. We're down to the final 2. And when you see number 2, you'll have an idea what number 1 is. But number 2, and this is a 5.0 off white to white page. I have another copy out for grading. I think it's going to be in the same range, but I am not going to argue having 2 copies of this book. Amazing Spider-Man number 51. First cover appearance of Kingpin and second appearance overall. There's a character that is so linked with Spider-Man on so many different levels, not just Peter Parker, but also Miles Morales, and through the years, and Daredevil, and everything else. Vincent D'Onofrio nailed it, and can't wait to see more of him in the MCU. I know we will. Like, you know, if you've read the comic books, and you know, spoiler alert for Hawkeye, Echo shoots him at the end. If you've read the comics, that's a copy of the way that it happened in the comic books, but at the same time, we all know that it did not kill him. It blinded him. which he wound up getting his eyesight back later, but it put him on the same level as Matt Murdock, which was kind of poetic. So, what could number 1 be? Well, if I've got 51, we've got to have number 50. Now, yes, this is only a 4.0, but it's a white pager, and it actually does look pretty decent for a 4.0. I know that there are others out there that look better, but I was mainly happy with the fact that it's got the white pages, because that's where you wind up with a lot of problems with, you know, the off-white to white, the cream, the brittle. The pages in this were well preserved, which means that I'll have this book in my collection for a very, very long time. No, this is not for sale and never will be. This is, to me, long-term, lifetime Grail PC book. This is what I'm in it for. So, that is how I've wrapped up my top 10 books. Hopefully you guys got a little enjoyment out of seeing some of these. I'd love to know some of the books that you have as well. What are the books that you're shooting for your Grails? And are there any other lists that you want me to try to pass back in the other direction? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, though, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks for joining yet again. But until I see you next time, mahalo.